Hello and welcome. In this video, I want to explain what registered capital of a company is in China. When you register a company in China, an LTD company, limited liability company, that can be wholly foreign owned, or it can be a partnership, or it can be unlimited liability company that we discussed before, can be started by one person. In any case, irrespective of the company structure, there is a concept of registered capital. Registered capital is going to be mentioned specifically on your business license. You can take a business license and then any company's business license in China. I'll try to put it on the screen here. And if you look closely, there is something called registered capital of the company. Now, what is it? Although we discussed this in many different videos, here again, this is a dedicated video for you. Registered capital, unlike paid-up capital, in some countries there is a concept called paid-up capital. Usually it's required to be injected at the time of company registration. You are simply asked to inject that. For example, some of the European countries, let's say Germany. In Germany, it's around 20,000 euros. You have to inject that capital. Now, unlike this concept, in China, you have this registered capital, which is kind of quote-unquote promise to the government. You are saying that you will be injecting this capital within the course of 5 years. According to new policy in China, the 5-year time frame is a new time frame, because previously, literally before 2024, it was 50 years. They reduced it to 5 years now, but still, the concept, the logic of the concept of registered capital remains the same. It means that you are promising to the government, you will be injecting this much capital within the course of 5 years now. Now, natural question, a lot of people ask us, at the time of registration, can I just start with zero capital and then sponsor my work visa? Yes, of course. Logically, that is exactly what I'm saying here. Okay, excuse, there's a phone call. So logically here again, because you have 5-year time frame, immigration office is not going to ask you to inject this capital. So because you have 5 years by law. So naturally, if you qualify for work permit, of course, I'm not going to discuss the qualification requirements here, but you can watch our dedicated video for that. Work permit has its own qualification requirements. So if you qualify, then you can go ahead and apply for work permit under your China company here without injecting this registered capital. Now, again, the second part of the video now, still, a lot of people might be confused, like, what is this registered capital? Why do I have to promise to the government? Now, the logic behind this is actually to define what limited liability means. Okay, in China, just like any other country, when you have a limited liability company, your liability size, how much liability you're taking, is usually measured by the number of shares you have in the company and also the amount of capital you inject into the company. So in China, when you start a company here, let's assume you write your registered capital as 100,000 USD. Now, this means if anything goes wrong and your company gets sued, this much liability you are taking as the company's founder. I hope it makes sense now, right? So if a company gets sued, you will not be liable to cover all of the company's debt using your personal assets, using your personal account here. For example, you can purchase a house, you can purchase a car on your personal name, but none of that will be touched except for this $100,000 that you inject into the company. That is the size of the liability. So now let me explain the third part, okay? Because naturally people ask, okay, how much then I have to write down this registered capital? Now this is something really, really like, I always tell to the clients that it depends on your business plan, to be honest with you. Now, you can put yourself into the shoes of your potential partners, right? Future partners. Because all the information in China is public data. The bigger the registered capital is, the bigger liability the company founders are taking, okay, in a sense like that. For example, I put $100,000 registered capital in my company, right? I have 5 years to inject. Now I'm going to go ahead and sign, I'm interested in signing an agreement, a partnership agreement, or, you know, even becoming like exclusive dealer for some brand in China, right? So when I approach them, these big companies usually, they quickly make a due diligence on your company in China. They can quickly check it online, how much liability the owner has here, how much responsibility and liability they're willing to take. So they can easily find online, which is public data, and it says that 100,000 USD. For big companies, usually 100,000 USD is nothing. Literally, it's nothing. So because we have come across with this many, many times before, we had clients who wanted to sign partnership agreement with Alibaba, Xiaomi, or JD. When we approached those companies, they did not even talk to us because of this very small, tiny registered capital, like liability. What they expect is usually, so coming from this perspective, considering what kind of partners you want to sign agreement with, or you want to approach or become, distributor for them. So you need to measure the size of the registered capital accordingly, right? So usually for big companies like that, they will speak to you, or they're willing to speak to you if your registered capital is approximately, let's say, 5 million yuan or $5 million if you can, and upwards, right? Because what happens if you don't inject this registered capital is government is going to approach you after 5 years, and they will ask you to inject it or reduce it, or third option, to close the company. You will have 3 options, all right? So because some people might say, okay, I'm going to write the registered capital like 10 million, and then I'm going to approach this company, sign an agreement, and get done with it. No, it's not going to work like that. Of course, those big companies are not going to look at the registered capital only, all right? That's one of the pieces of the puzzle, actually. Of course, they're going to require the transaction history. They're going to look at the whole, tax filings, etc., etc. There's a whole bunch of other things as well, but one of them is the registered capital. If it's very small, they will not even listen to you. They will not even look at your company. So bigger the registered capital, the more chances you will have to sign agreements with serious big companies, right? So again, going back to the earlier point, if you don't inject this registered capital within 5 years, you will have 3 options. The government is going to approach you. They will ask you to inject it as soon as possible, or reduce it, okay? Reduce it to the size that you are comfortable with. And then the third option, close the company. They will give you only the 3 choices. Now, another thing people ask us is how to inject this registered capital. There might be some viewers on YouTube here that maybe they have started their company in China and then they don't know how to inject it. Bear in mind, your active company account in China, active company account meaning like the bank account that you are trading with, right? You are using it to purchase goods, etc. That is not the account to inject the registered capital. It is not. Because if you inject to that account from within China, it will be treated as income. It's not injection. So what happens is actually when we register company for all the clients, we simultaneously start opening an injection account, which is separate from the active account of the company. So I don't know what your agent have told you, or what they are offering there if you work with different agencies or consulting companies, but whatever they say to you, like sometimes I witness this actually. Some of the unprofessional companies tell the clients, okay, well, you can inject the capital in yuan here, which is actually total rubbish. It doesn't work like that. registered capital should be injected to a designated injection account, which is a separate special account. And the process of opening it is not going to be only like with the bank, serving bank. Actually, we contact the central bank, get permission, and then open this injection account because of the monetary policy here in China. And opening this injection account takes approximately 2 months, 3 months actually. It can be done, good news is, without your presence. Your company owner, your company director, supervisor, you don't have to appear for this injection account to be opened. We can do it. Like, it's a continuing process. We establish the company, open the bank account, get all the permits and licenses necessary, register with the tax office, customs office, and the company is active now. Now you can go ahead and run your company, but for the registered capital to be completed, it's going to take some time. So you just have to be a little bit patient for that. Now, because you are a foreigner in China, the way you can inject the money to that registered injection account, your registered capital into that injection account is only, when I say only, it's only from your foreign account abroad. So you can use your personal account if you are the individual shareholder in the Chinese company here, or if you are a corporate shareholder, meaning you used your existing company to be the owner of this Shanghai company, then the only way to inject the capital will be using the mother company's account abroad to inject this capital. 2 choices only. All right. You are the individual owner, you use your personal account to inject. You are a corporate owner, you use your corporate account abroad to inject in foreign capital. In both cases, it's a foreign capital. Only the green card holders, for example, I obtained my green card in China. Now I can, if I decide, I can inject the capital from within China in yuan. All right, that's a different case. So for most of the clients we have, when they have only working visa here or the business visa when they come here to open a company, so you don't, meaning that you are not a resident, like a full-time green card holder, permanent resident, then your only choice to inject the capital will be in foreign currency from abroad using your personal account or your company account. But that company must be a shareholder in your China company. So here we go, guys. This is the registered capital concept of a Chinese company. And this is true for November 17, 2024. We see policies changing, slightly towards, actually, the government is trying to make it much easier for the foreign people here as much as possible. So maybe in the future, some things might change, and we're going to make a separate video at that time. But for now, this is the case. All right. A lot of people actually approach us with a dictionary definition of many concepts here in China when registering a company, which is actually a total rubbish, to be honest with you. Excuse my language. I keep repeating this, unofficial phrases here. But still, this is the thing. When you browse on Google, you come across with 20, 15-year-old information, which is not practical today. Just make sure that you approach the company which actually does that on a daily basis. Our company, we register companies on a daily basis. We work with the government directly without any local agency here. We don't have any intermediary agency. Work with the company registrar directly. We have Chinese staff here. So all the information, unfortunately, it's not spread on the internet, like updated information. That's the case. These are the things, maybe puts China slightly different from other jurisdictions. So all the updated information, all the practical information we get directly from the company registrar. And all these old concepts that you can find online on Google, most of them are invalid today. Okay, so because there are some information regarding registered capital, like the again, the dictionary concept, they say, okay, you need to inject, at the time of registration, you need to inject around 20% of the registered capital, which was true. Don't take me wrong, which was true before 2015, before 2014, which was true actually. At that time, registered capital size was $140,000 for foreign companies, foreign-owned companies, and then you had to inject at least 20% of the total amount. But now that's not true. Just to inform you, if you come across this information, which is available on Google through many agencies' websites, maybe they're copying from each other's websites. That's actually, you know, not valid anymore. So just be careful, okay? I had this video before. Like there are so many foreigners living here pretending, like, of course they spend here like, I don't know, 20 years, 15 years. They automatically think that they're entitled to give business advice when it comes to company formation or getting your work permit, which is actually something you should not be listening to. Okay, this is I don't advise that, because if a person or a company is not going through that, they're not doing it on a daily basis, they don't know what they're talking about. Simple as that. All right. So contact us if you have any questions. I hope this video makes it clear regarding registered capital once and for all. Maybe if there are any updates, I'm going to make a follow-up video. But for now, that's the case regarding registered capital of your WFOE in China. Any questions, welcome to email, leave in the comment section below, or, you know, add us on WeChat, WhatsApp. You see all the contact details below the screen, below the video, and also on the screen all the time. And if you want to talk to me directly, book a call, please. There's a section in the website, it's called appointments. Just click on it, book a call, choose your suitable time, and then we're going to have a Zoom call, one-on-one Zoom call. We're going to discuss all of your business related questions in China. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.